Hi everyone, good evening. I know some of you were asking for a video on least common multiple today, so I had a few minutes, so I decided to make one. Don't forget, the back to school dance is tomorrow. So we started off today's class with just focusing on the greatest common factors of 12 and 18. And the way that we did that was by using the upside down ladder, by putting 12 and 18 in the upside down birthday cake, upside down ladder and upside down birthday cake, same thing. Okay, and you want to pull out numbers that they have in common factors. So I know that 12 and 18 are both even, so I'm going to take out that 2. And 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now, since 6 is even but 9 is not, 2 cannot go into both of them, but 3 can. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. 2 and 3 have nothing in common except for 1. That's their only common factor. But since we have other digits on the left, we don't need to worry about taking out that 1. So our greatest common factor is, we're going to circle everything on the left. And our greatest common factor, or GCF, is 2 times 3. Well, I'm writing 6. 2 times 3, which is 6. So that was finding the greatest common factor. Today we focused on Chapter 5, Lesson 1, Least Common Multiple. And multiples are different than factors. Factors are numbers that could go into numbers, whereas multiples we're simply multiplying. And when we talk about the least common multiples, it is the smallest one that 2 or more numbers have in common. It's very different for factors. It's actually kind of like the opposite. So I want to show you the differences between GCF and LCM only because I think that it's really important for you to understand the differences, because then it'll make it easier for you to solve them. So right here we're going to do GCF, and over here we're going to do LCM. So GCF, 4 and 6, and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to do it just by listing the factors. Okay, because greatest common factor, GCF, we're dealing with factors. Alright, so I need all my factors of 4 and I need all my factors of 6. Well, I know that 1 times 4 is 4 and 2 times 2 is 4, so I don't need to write both of them. I could just write 1. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Well, I see that they have 1 in common, and I also see that they have 2 in common. But the greatest common factor is 2. Every number is going to have a factor of 1. Now let's take a look at how different least common multiple is, because your factors are going to have to be numbers that are either the same as your lowest number or smaller than this 4 from the greatest common factor, whereas your multiples are going to be bigger than your biggest number. So it's really like skip counting. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. All I did really is 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, 4 times 5, 4 times 6. I stopped there only because we could keep going to infinity. But we only need the least common multiple, so we could kind of stop once we get one. So here we have 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So I see that 4 and 6 have a multiple of 12. They both go into 12. They multiply by a number to get 12. And they also have 24. They're going to have many more if we keep going. But we only need the least one, which is right there. And the least common multiple is 12. As you can see, the greatest common factor between these two is a lot smaller than the multiple because factors are numbers that could go into it, whereas multiples are a number that 4 and 6 could multiply and become. So that it takes a lot of work, but if you like to do that method, it's okay. But I'm going to show you the upside down ladder method or upside down birthday cake for both. Okay, so we're going to do the GCF here just to save us some time and the LCM here. So, greatest common factor. Well, we know that we could take out the 2 because 4 and 6 are even. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, the greatest common, 2 and 3 have nothing in common, so our greatest common factor is simply 2. Now let's take a look at how to do the LCM. You're actually going to go through the same process. You're going to take out common factors. Let's take out a 2. 4 divided by 2, we get 2. 6 divided by 2, we get 3. Now, for greatest common factor, we only focused on circling the left. But for least common multiple, you actually bubble the whole L. So I'm going to switch colors so that you can really see what I mean. Anything that's left over on the bottom gets included as well, and we're going to multiply that together. So LCM, our LCM is going to be 2 times 2 times 3. Well, I know that 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. So our LCM equals 12. Now there's one more rule with LCM, okay? Greatest common factor, all three numbers have to have something in common in order to factor it out. But LCM has a special rule. You can keep going if two numbers have a common factor. So let's take a look. First, start off with 3. See if the three numbers have something in common. I see here that 6, 8, and 12, they're all even, so I can take out that 2. 6 divided by 2, I get 3. 8 divided by 2, I get 4. And 12 divided by 2, I get 6. Well, now I'm looking at this, and I have two sets. All three don't have a common factor, but 3 and 6 have a common factor of 3, and 4 and 6 have a common factor of 2. I like to deal with even numbers first, so I'm going to take the 2 out. Since 3 is not a part of this, 3 is going to the party alone, and he's just going to be a tag along. And I'm going to go ahead and do 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I'm going to make another birthday layer, because 3 and 3 here have a common factor of 3. And 2 is just going to tag along. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 divided by 3 is also 1. Now, nothing has common factors except for the ones, and we don't have to pull the ones out because we have other numbers. So our least common multiple is going to be all of these on the outside, making our L multiply together. So we have LCM will equal 2 times 2 times 3 times 1 times 2 times 1. And LCM, our LCM is going to be 4 times 3 times 1 times 2 times 1. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 1. I'm just doing this step by step to show you how I'm kind of calculating this. 12 times 1 is 12. And I keep bringing everything down until I'm left with only one number. And 24 times 1 is 24. That was a lot of work, I know. And a lot of you may have done it in a more mental way, okay, such as 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 1 is 12, times 2 is 24, times 1 is 24. Either way works. If you need to work it out on the bottom, that's fine. You can also kind of solve this side the left side and say, okay, this is 12 times, and maybe solve this. This is 2, and then multiply that way. Either way works. Okay, have fun doing your homework. Don't forget the dance is tomorrow, and I'll see you in class. Good night.